Welcome to Genesee Health System. Today we're going to be talking about our health and safety program. I am Shawn Edwards, Senior Director of Engagement, Diversity, and Inclusion. Genesee Health System, our health and safety program, consists of a few components. It's important to know that we conduct monthly health and safety meetings with all of our staff per individual department and/or location. We also have health and safety representatives who meet quarterly to report and/or discuss all health and safety concerns for their department or location. Here's just I call it a piece of memorabilia. Here's our picture where we were doing, as a health and safety committee, a little problem solving just before COVID-19's announcement to literally shelter in place, work from home, social distance, and things of that nature. At this particular meeting, we were gathering infection control pieces of information to submit to various departments. It's proper distancing, safe hand washing, things of that nature, with no, at that time, true standard of what's happening with our society. So literally just a few days before that. Our policies, Genesee Health System, we have policies and procedures in various sections on our intranet. The health and safety policies can be found under Section 3, and they look, according to your screen, as follows. We have lots of them. What I want to share with you is policies and procedures are not exactly connected in the policy section. You literally have to go over to the procedures to see how they line up with the policies. That's a design stemming from an audit that we had, because a lot of times people ask the question of why aren't policies or the procedures infused right into the policies? Well, if you know that there is a policy in Section 3, you can simply go over to the procedures and see the methodology for the policies that you're looking at on your screen. Adverse weather conditions. Every location has a weather alert radio. It's in place to notify you of conditions that warrant attention. Also, policy 03-00795 talks about our tornado shelter, our fire safety destination meeting place, and what to do in the event of a bomb threat. So if you look at that policy, you'll find those three components there. Notice that with fire safety, if it's a true emergency, we're required to be at least 300 feet away from the building. That's so that we can get emergency personnel in to do what they do best, and that's to extinguish the fire and keep us safe. Also, for bomb threat, 1,000 feet away from the building. That again keeps us safe and keeps people out of the way of emergency personnel who respond to our emergencies. Evacuation plan outline. You'll see on your screen an evacuation plan example. For instance, I have 5th floor of our 420 building. You see the temporary shelter information. All sites have a way of convening in an emergency for further communication. So if you're at your location, you're going to want to ask your supervisor or your health and safety representative, where do I go for safety, so that we can count heads and make sure that all are out of the building. And for bomb threat, Um, same instance. For instance, for the 420 building, you'll see that we're going to be down by Dodds Demonaway Funeral Home. Temporary shelter phone, you're needing to know, since we're such an advanced society right now, everyone has a cell phone, but you're going to want to have your phone tree outlined with your supervisor to make sure that people can connect with you in the event that we're separated for unfortunate reasons. The fire alarm is the signaling mechanism for fire. But you need to know, for instance, for deaf and hard of hearing, we have strobe lights, but we do get a mechanism of alert. Designation of staff in charge of facilitating evacuation, including backup. Who is that person? Every single location has to have an evacuation plan outlined. For instance, here, you'll see myself named as I am typically the person who goes out and gives the all clear. And you'll see further information here on your evacuation plan outline. But also, it's important to remember, if we loop back to those meetings, these are things that we talk about as reminders for staff in our meetings. Evacuation plan, 5th floor. Here's an example of showing where we're going to shelter in the event of an emergency. Say, for instance, if the building is uninhabitable, or we just need to all convene to receive further communication, and we need to reconvene because, of course, it's going to probably be critical incident stuff where we need to really talk about what took place and get our, I call them marching orders for moving forward. As a system, we will meet at our 1057 Coldwater Road location. That is our facility management building. Also, you find there our Community Integration Center, which is on the other side. It's a day activity program for our consumers who have developmental disabilities. So again, make sure that the evacuation plan, that you know about it. It's something, again, that you will talk about in your health and safety meetings. Here is our emergency shelter agreement, just to show you when it was established. I simply wrote a letter to Dennis, who is our facility manager. And at that time, he and I talked about the ability of that facility to do emergency operation stuff should we not be able to get back into our offices. Text alerts of emergency events. For Genesee Health System, we have a text alert number that we call. This helps you sign up for emergency communication. And for GCHC, you're still going to text GCHC alert to that same number, the 877-522-8011, and that signs you up for receiving that emergency communication. Building drills and examples will include medical emergencies, snow emergencies, power outages, tornado, fire evacuation, bomb threats, workplace threats, terrorism, and biological weapons. You'll notice that these particular drills, we conduct them annually. They are planted very readily on our emergency plan calendar. Here's an example. This is back in 2018, just as an example, of course. Our year right now would be 2019 and 20, but it shows you exactly what we're going to do per month with policy numbers Just under the test of an emergency drill form section, there are procedures. Remember a little bit earlier, I spoke about how policies and procedures are broken apart, should I say. And then crisis response, fire suppression training, and inspections. How we go about our emergency plan calendar for the year is presented before you on the screen. It is imperative for you to participate in the process. If you see something, say something. Health and safety is everyone's responsibility. Of course, you have a health and safety representative in your area. You have your supervisor, your managers, your directors. You as staff are responsible for yourself. I'm responsible for myself. I want to bring things to the attention of others, and I hope you should as well. Automated external defibrillators. You'll see the photo there of what that defibrillator looks like. This is used in emergency cases where, and you've gone through your CPR first aid training, but you're trained on how to literally jumpstart the person's heart. It's important to know that cardiopulmonary resuscitation does just that. It's there and designed to keep the heart pumping manually, providing that oxygenated blood to your vital organs and your brain. However, once that defibrillator arrives upon the scene, and we'll talk about that more in our CPR first aid class, you attach that defibrillator, let it do its job and detecting a heartbeat for individuals. If it does not, this is the unit that will jumpstart the heart. So we will talk more about that in our training, but I needed to let you know that these are located throughout GHS and GCHC collectively as an organization. CPR first aid training, you'll see I am demonstrating compressions over on the right-hand side with my mannequins. But again, it's something that we're going to talk about in our training. But compressions and breaths are very important, and we have no time to waste. If an individual collapses or if they go into heart failure or cardiopulmonary resuscitation is the original first and foremost response, but again, that defibrillator is what's needed as well. Safety inspections. We have departmental safety inspections conducted by our facility management team. Problem logs, that's where you come in if you're noticing something been addressed, or if you're noticing a potential safety hazard, this is your time to bring that to the attention of your supervisor. We're calling that the form of a problem log because there's a problem. But if you see something, say something. If you have physical plant safety concerns, express them to your health and safety representative as well. Material safety data sheets or safety data sheets are compiled in our Right to Know Compliance Center, which is located in every area. Some of you may have previously known them as MSDS sheets. Well, now they are safety data sheets. They're located usually in a very common area, and these centers inform you of chemical composition for all chemicals in that area. And this educates staff of what to do if an exposure occurs. We also have our safety data sheets, formerly known as material safety data sheets, in electronic form. You can find them under documents, health and safety, safety data sheets. You'll find office supplies, cleaning supplies, maintenance, and this is where our forms are located on our GHS intranet under documents, health and safety, material safety data sheets, and now safety data sheets. First aid cabinets are located in every section of the building. If supplies are missing, we're going to ask you to report that to us, although you should know that they are stocked. The supply is stocked every 60 days unless we're depleted in certain areas. Please reach out to me and let me know. And we will get our Cintas representative to make sure that we get new supplies. Usually we don't run out of supplies before our representative comes to stock, but just in case, it's something that we need to know. But also, you will find in our first aid cabinets a little sticker that shows you where the nearest cabinet is located. And if you don't see that, please just simply ask a tenured or veteran staff. Fire suppression. You'll see the person in the picture holding an evacuation chair. That evac chair is used to assist someone down a flight of stairs who may be in a wheelchair, but of course we know that it's not the safest thing to do with a wheelchair in traveling a flight of stairs, but our evac chairs are located on floors where there are stairs. But with our fire suppression program, we talk about fire extinguisher usage and what's important to know about that extinguisher. We should know that extinguishers are literally used to fight your way through a fire or fight a fire off of an individual. Never ever used to completely extinguish a fire in a building. There's only about 8 to 10 seconds worth of material in the extinguisher, and your job is to get yourself out of danger, and that's to get out of the building. Escape routes are posted everywhere within our organization. Strobe lights are a form of an alarm mechanism for persons who are deaf or hard of hearing. There again is a destination spot. We spoke a little bit about that earlier, and there is a policy. But remember, fire extinguishers are used for 2 reasons: to fight your way through a fire or to fight a fire off of someone. Always use the back of your hand to test doors before you go into an area where there may be heat, fire, or smoke. Stay low. And of course, remember, stop, drop, and roll. If fire is attached to your clothing, our main concern is to get you out. Crisis response. It's important to check with your designated health and safety representative to find what your crisis response protocol for your workstation entails. For instance, if you need to call on someone for assistance, how do I do that? What signal shall I use when or if I'm in distress? What are the panic parameters for this particular location? We're going to talk more about crisis response and crisis prevention training. Some of you know that as being referred to CPI, or Crisis Prevention Institute training, where we talk about prevention, intervention, and postvention. But stay tuned for us to dig a little bit further into crisis response. Debriefing. It's important to know after any emergency, please remember to debrief. We're going to talk about this in a little more detail as well in our CPI session, but you can find the policy for debriefing under the health and safety section entitled Incident Debriefing. Please complete the form attached and route the policy 0301502 accordingly. The instructions are there. Anyone who feels as though they need a debriefing should reach out. Your team can host that session with you. Commonly, I am called to facilitate debriefings, critical incident stress management. Some people refer to it as a time to gather to talk about the crisis that we've experienced and what should we do from here. It keeps you psychologically safe as well. So remember, try your best not to go the crisis alone. Debriefing is a valuable part of healing from traumatic events, should I say. If ever there are questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Call me if you need further direction. What do I do? Who do I call? Hey, my number is at the front of our session here today. I am in the training department and customer services department as well, and we are here to assist. Don't hesitate to call. Thank you for your time and attention, and stay safe. Please stay safe, and remember, you are responsible for your own safety. Make sure that you keep safety at the top of your list of concerns. Have a powerful day, and we will connect soon.